It feels like we've reached a crossroads. Now, Trish and I have been speaking about this for some time, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
It's all about the direction of travel for us. And I don't mean where are we going in the van. I mean, are we continuing with Maggie, our camper van, or are we going to change? Is it time for something else? And I think what we've decided, it feels like we are sitting at the crossroads. Do we go straight on with Maggie, continue as we have done in our adventures in the wee brown van, or do we maybe go left, or do we maybe go right in different directions? Now, we've thought about this. If we go left, it means that we go down the camper van conversion route, and we buy a van and we get the tools out and we actually have a go at making our own van, something that's maybe a little bit bigger for us. I think we've ruled that out, haven't we?
Yes. As much as we've watched YouTube and you see people doing it and they do amazing jobs on it, I don't feel I could do it. I could do the soft furnishings, but not all the rest of the build.
Yeah, I could have a go,
yeah,
but I think it would take us a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I would be a bit worried about, making a bodged job of it. And I know that you can get people that will come in and do your electrics, and there'll people that will do your windows and all kinds of things. But the other thing is it would take us a long time to do it.
Yes, it would.
And we're just about to get our garden landscape. That's going to take 3 weeks. We're going to Australia later in the year. Yes, we're going
to visit our daughter in Australia later in the year. And we want to get out in the van. We want to be able to go places and see places and share it with you.
Yeah, and we don't want to be waiting a year or 2 years to be back out on the road again. We want to be out there as quick as possible.
In our house previously, we got Maggie. We wanted that size of van because it would fit in the garage that we had at that time.
And on the drive.
And on the drive, yes, it was easy to park on the drive. Now, the house that we're in just now has a much bigger drive, and we always said if we got a house with a bigger space, then we would get a bigger van. So that is a big reason why we want to get a bigger van now as well.
So we're not going to turn left. We don't think we're motorhome type people.
No, we have looked at motorhomes and, we think they are really amazing in what you can get. But I want something a wee bit different.
Yeah, and a bit smaller. We want to say stay small.
Yeah.
So we could turn right. It's the only direction really left for us, we think, which is to buy a van and commission a company to do the conversion for us.
Yeah.
I think that's the way that we want to go, isn't it?
Yes. We've had a look on Quirky Campers. It's a very, very good site, and it gives you a list of converters and websites that you can use to look up what they have done, and Quirky give their recommendations on it, which is very comforting for us because we don't know anybody local or near us that does it. So we have been looking at those, haven't we?
We have, yeah, and we've already seen a few good companies that we quite fancy having a closer look at. But it does mean that for Maggie, as much as we love our wee brown van, we're going to put her up for sale. Yeah. Now, Maggie is a 2019 Toyota Pro-Ace conversion by Wellhouse Leisure. It's a 2-litre, 180 brake horsepower engine, and it has an automatic transmission. And the van has done just under 17,000 miles. There's a 2-burner hob and a sink. The front seats swivel round and the rear seats are on a track system. And that means that you can have them pushed forward when you're travelling, with plenty of space at the back in the boot. And when you get to your destination, the seats can be pushed right to the back, and that gives you the maximum amount of living space. The pop top gives good headroom, and there's additional sleeping up there, probably best for the young ones. So the decision's been made. We're selling our camper van for the sum of £44,000. We've not just plucked that figure out of the air. That's a valuation that we've received from Wellhouse Leisure, who are the suppliers and converters for that camper van.
We're also including our 2 awnings, so our blow-up awning and the full sides and front for the pull-out, wind-out awning. Both of these you can see we did review on previous videos.
Yeah. So thinking about what we want to do in terms of our next steps for a van, we've made a wee list, a top 10 list of what our requirements are.
Yes, I think there should be more than 10, but hey.
There probably are, but we stopped at 10, didn't we? And the first one, and probably the main driver for us wanting to change, is we both fancy having a fixed bed. I think just the ability to have a flop on the bed, a comfortable full-size bed.
Yeah, the bed at the moment in Maggie is a small double. So it's still a double bed, so it's 4 foot, roughly about 4 foot wide. But I feel that I would like a wee bit extra space, just to spread out a wee bit.
For me, it's just having the bed there.
Yes.
Available. So if you want to go and have a flop, you can go and have a flop,
Yes.
right? And the same for me. And I think the other good thing about it is, if you want to go to bed at night, and I want to sit up and maybe do a little bit of editing or something like that, then we could do it. But I mean, at the moment, when we go to bed, both of us go to bed.
It tends to be both of us. We have done it before where I've been in bed and Mike's sat up, and it's not very comfortable for you sitting up at that bit. There's not a great deal of space, but there's not a great huge space.
Once the bed's down, you've got about a couple of feet or something like that.
Yeah.
Haven't you?
Yeah, because you can swivel the front seats round. And use them.
But fixed bed and being able to just have a wee snooze. If you want to have a wee
Getting
snooze
to our
when we're
age in
away,
life, yes.
and I say, I'm going out for Kira, I don't want to have a snooze. You can go and have a snooze.
That's fine then. I'll take a note of that. It's on video.
The next thing is we fancied having a permanent high top rather than a pop top.
Yes. So obviously for getting the pop top down, for Mike, no problem at all. He's tall, he just grabs it. For me, I've got to stand on the seat and pull down, which is fine, I can do it. But I just feel that maybe as I get older, I wouldn't be able to do it. So it's something where I don't mind at the moment. It's easy to put up, you just push it and the hydraulics will take it up. But coming down, it's just a wee bit more difficult for me, and I can foresee in the future potentially it could get worse.
Yeah, I don't have any difficulties with it. I think having the full height of a van with the pop top, obviously it's slightly lower towards the back, isn't it? But with a full having the full headroom, I think is something that
the headroom for me when the pop top's up is fine. I've got loads of headroom, but I'm a wee smitey. But hey.
Yeah. Now the next thing, I know that I said that these are a list of our kind of requirements, but this is a list of something as well, of things that we don't want. And number 3 is no shower or fixed toilet, because for me, once you get it into your head that actually you don't need a fixed shower and toilet, you can use the showers on a campsite. You can have a wash down in the van. You can use a little bivy loo and pee bottles. Once you get it into your head that it's absolutely fine, you don't need to have a shower room and a fixed toilet, that opens up a whole load of possibilities, because you don't need to have that space in your van.
No.
And we do want to stay small, don't we?
Yeah, we want to keep it a small van.
We want to keep it as a small van, and having a shower and toilet, fixed shower and toilet, I think it would push us into a bigger van, and we don't really want to go there.
Yeah, we still want it to feel spacious inside.
Yeah. The next thing that we need is 3 belted seats.
Yeah, so obviously we've got Kira, and you do have to keep your dog restrained. Yes, I know we could put her in a cage. Kira's never been in a cage, so...
don't put Kira in a cage.
So I wouldn't put her in like a travelling cage.
Nobody puts Kira in a cage. Or the corner.
Kira's been used to, when she's travelling, being able to sit in the seat. And when she first started travelling, she wasn't a great traveller. She was very nervous. And I just feel if we did it any other way, she wouldn't like it. So if it has 3 travelling seats or 3 belted seats, then that's what we would be looking for.
Yeah, even if it meant Kira was travelling in the front with us.
Yeah, because she has her harness on, which is RAC tested and everything like that. That's what we would use.
Because I mean, I think most vans they will have obviously your driving seat, but then it's a double
It's a
passenger
double
seat.
passenger, yeah.
So we could have one of us and Kira sitting in the front, couldn't
Yeah, yeah, which she would love.
we? It would be fine. The next thing on our list is we've put down 6 meters maximum length. So at the moment our camper van Maggie is just under 5 meters. We would like to stay under 6 meters, so it's only an extra meter.
I know, when you think of it, it's not a lot, but it will be a lot.
That extra metre allows you to have that fixed bed, which we would have in that transverse position
Yeah.
along the back of the van. So we still want to stay small though, don't we? Because we still want to go down some of these little country roads.
Yeah. And we've read up about going on when you go across to Europe and things like that. It's a lot easier to have an under 6 or 6 metre or under van. So.
Yeah, and some of the manufacturers actually, they keep their vans under 6 metres simply because if you get a van over 6 metres, it's more costly to go across on the Channel Ferry. And that's why they're under 6 metres. They're not stupid. Next thing on the list is storage, including coats.
So one of Mike's things is, like, obviously in Maggie, she's small, and we live in Scotland. We love to go out in Scotland. We've got a dog, but we have to go out walking. But when we come back, we've got wet clothes. So we've got like our jackets and our waterproofs. We've got Kira's little coat and things like that. So at the moment, I just put them on a hanger and I hang them up in Maggie. So it's a bit like a washroom. So it would be nice to have somewhere where you could just have a hook, and that's where you can put your coat all the time, or we can have that's where our leash goes, and you know, our ball chucker and things like that. So I think having permanent hooks for coats, we do have hooks in the van which are the magnetic ones, but they won't hold the weight of a heavy jacket, which for me is, we really need to have something that we can hook up.
I mean, we tend to put our coats on the backs of seats and things like that.
Yeah, which does work.
Yeah, you watch a lot of videos on YouTube showing you camper van conversions, and they're all beautifully immaculate and all laid out, and you think, where do these people put their coats?
Yes. I mean, storage-wise, Maggie, we've got everything else that we could need fitted into Maggie. It all fits in perfectly. I've even got a wee drawers that I can put veg in and things like that. It's just a little thing like coats would be really nice to have.
Yeah, and next on the list, it's a retractable step. Now, you might have seen Trish hobbling along on some of our videos. One of her knees isn't too great, and we've always fancied having a retractable step, but unfortunately in our camper van, the Toyota Proace won't take it. There's not sufficient room underneath for us to have a retractable.
Yeah, we did ask when we first got her,
We did. So it would be a nice to have, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we're managing with our new orange box that will get painted at some point. But if we could have a retractable step, it would be a lot easier. Then we'd maybe not run over it.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, so that would be nice. And next up on the list is number 8. It's a front swivel seat.
Yeah, so we've looked at vans and conversions on the Quirky Campers, different sites. And some of them, they close off the bulkhead, and some of them leave part of the bulkhead open. I personally would like to have the 2-seater at the front that Kira and I, or you and Kira, are going to sit at, to be able to turn, just to give that feeling of a wee bit more space in the van. And as much as they can make vans as comfy as possible, these front seats are a wee bit more comfy to sit at. And it would give you a space to do your editing. And because you're pulled back, it just would feel a lot more spacious.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. That would be our preference, wouldn't it?
Their preference, yes.
To have that.
Yes.
Next up on the list, we would like to have a diesel heater and possibly a diesel cooker too. We've got experience of having a diesel heater because that's what's fitted in our camper van at the moment, and it's been absolutely fantastic. You flick a switch and within half a minute or something like that, you've got the heat coming through and the van's toasty in no time. So the diesel heater has been great. And it just takes a feed from the main diesel tank. You're not carrying around a separate diesel can or anything like that. It's just been great. So we were also thinking as well, maybe it would be good to have a diesel cooker and move away from gas.
Well, it would mean that we wouldn't have to have an extra gas bottle or tank or anything like we have, so it would maybe give a
Yeah.
bit more space.
That's
We
right.
don't know how feasible it is with the companies that we go with. We'll have to speak with them.
Yeah.
We have seen them on YouTube and they look really, really good. And they can also be used as a heater as well if you're just needing a little bit of heat. So
Yeah. And the other option, of course, is an electric induction hob, and we've had a look at that and had a think about that. I don't think the battery capacity is quite there for that yet. I mean, anything's possible, obviously. You could load the van up with loads of batteries and solar panel and you'd be okay, but it would also cost you an absolute arm and a leg to do that. So
lithium batteries are expensive.
yeah, but I mean, it would be nice to move away from gas anyway. Next on the list, and the final one actually, is a wastewater tank.
Yeah, so at the moment in Maggie, we have a freshwater tank that comes through the tap. And when we use the sink, there's like a little outlet on the outside of the van. So we bought it's like I think it's an oil change drum, isn't it? That slides easily under the van. So that's really good. You can use that, but you still have to remember to bring it, put it underneath the van, and if you don't do that, then you use a basin or something, and it would just be easier to have a wastewater that you don't have to worry about. You don't think, oh, I need to remember and lift that. And if we're out doing wild camping, we will take the water away with us. It will be in the van, and then we'll probably stay at a campsite, and then we'll be able to empty everything. It's a wee bit of luxury extra, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. So that's it really. That wraps it up in terms of what we want out of our next camper van, and hopefully we will be able to move forward quite quickly with it. The thing is, obviously, we need to sell Maggie, our camper van, first. Yeah. So as we said at the start, our camper van is now actually up for sale. We're putting it up for sale now. The price of £44,000. If anyone is interested, then drop us an email at weebroonvan@gmail.com, and if you maybe know somebody that might be interested, send them a link. And obviously all of our videos that are there show an awful lot about the van, but if anyone wants to come and see it, have a test drive, you're more than welcome to. Just contact us through that email address. And that's it. Now, obviously, we're going to be busy for a while here at the house with the garden, all the work that's going on. Mm-hmm. We will keep you updated about what's happening with our camper van journey. Now that we've decided that we are turning right.
Yes.
We'll keep you updated, folks. All right. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Ta-da.